Yeah, I got mini bagels and we can put eggs and with bagels. Like.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
So I'm on the phone with Bhante Sankichcha.
I don't know. It may be that.
Who is there?
Hello.
I am there.
Yeah.
I'm here.
So we need more light on your side, Bhante.
What? Scrambled?
So
Yes. Hello. Huh?
yeah.
Yes,
Very
they can. Stop. Stop.
So I have unmuted all participants. Please say hello to Bhante Sankichcha. It's the evening. He's joining from Kandy, Sri Lanka.
Hello. Hello. Bye.
Stop it.
You can probably introduce you. I mean, he knows all of you, but just say your name.
I know many of them, but not all of them.
Yeah.
It's itchy.
Right?
Just so you know, this event is being recorded.
In Sri Lanka. He's in Sri Lanka.
We hear lots of noises.
Okay, did you log on to the program?
Hi, Isulu Ayah.
Hi. So good to see you, wearing white and beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah. And these two, wonderful. Hi, good morning. Look at these two, very, very beautiful. Nice. Hello. Look at the Vesak lantern behind you. The blue one, very beautiful.
Behind who?
Behind Yenuli. Somebody is making some noises. Are you helping us? Hello. Good to see you both.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
So let me, this is Akane.
Hi.
Akane.
Hi.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Did you see Bhante Sankichcha?
I did. Is he still here?
I'm looking for him now. So we got 16 participants. Here's Bhante.
Not beyond.
It sounds.
Hi.
Hi. Hi.
Oh, hello.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hello, little one. You have a Vesak lantern behind you. That's also beautiful. I love the colors. Did you help parents make it? Vinudi.
Download.
Who has made lantern?
It's a beautiful one.
Can you see who has made lantern?
Thank you, Vinudi.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful background. Hello, hello. Good morning.
Hey, don't do that, you. No one knows.
So,
Now we're going to start.
Who's 891?
yeah, who is this 8-9? They're just connecting. Let me see.
891-602-414. Wait, isn't that the meeting ID?
Let me see.
Get ready, right?
We are almost ready, but we are just checking who this number is.
What is that number?
It's actually, this 891 number is,
What is that number? Do we know?
can you all be silent, please? I'm just checking who this 891 number is.
Unmute him.
Yeah, I'm just gonna unmute. I can't seem to unmute that person for some reason. So I have unmuted all. Can this number speak?
He's not unmuting.
Yeah, not unmuting for some reasons. All right, I'm putting that person in waiting room. So I had to put 891 number They are in the waiting area. If they send me, I don't know if they can send me a message, but for some reasons they didn't speak. So let me find Bhante Sankichcha and unmute him so he can. Bhante, now over to you.
Okay, so now we are going to start our Vesak program. So I'm joining you all from Sri Lanka, as you know, and I'm very happy to see you all as our Dhamma school kids. And we are going to celebrate the Vesak this year. I had to remind you that the Vesak full moon day will be on the 7th of May, but we are celebrating it today as we all can get together online. So I think you all are familiar with what we have been doing for the Vesak at the temple, at the Vihara. So you all used to come to temple with all white clothes, and we spent like 3-4 hours at the temple observing precepts and doing meditation and having Dhamma discussions on the Children's Vesak Day program. And also we had our main Vesak Day celebration with devotional songs, and sometimes you had drama, Vesak drama performed. And also we have free food donation, food sharing as the Dansala. So these kind of activities we have done in previous years. And at the same time, I remember you all were making lanterns, and I saw some lanterns. So how many of you have made lanterns? How can I see that?
So
Have you made lanterns?
she's
Can you
raising.
show me?
She's raising her hand.
Yeah, you can show me. Yeah,
It's
raise
behind
your
her.
lantern if you have. If you do not have, that's okay. Oh, I can see one behind Vinudi, and
Let me go
right,
on and show. And there's one
right. I
here.
see one behind Vinudi. Yeah, so that's good. So I was hoping to see some lanterns. Okay, Sahan and Ajit, Sohan. So they have
Yeah,
made some lanterns. That's a good effort. I really appreciate
beautiful.
that. So this is what we do, right, during the Vesak time. And I want to show you what I made.
Thank
You
you.
know, I made some lanterns too with my nephews here. See, this is one of them. You may have seen this in our temple before. And this is with another color, the same pattern.
You didn't see the first one.
You didn't see?
No.
This is the first one.
Oh, beautiful.
Okay. And we have another big one. This is called the Atapatta, as you can see. So we have made 3 lanterns so far at home with my little nephews. So we are getting ready to celebrate Vesak. So these are the activities we do during the Vesak season. So today, as our Dhamma school kids, we are going to have a short program online with Bhante Kusala and myself. We all are joining from home. And you can see friends are also joining. And I hope you all are participating with me with an enthusiastic mind. We all know that as Buddhists, as the disciples of the Buddha and the Dhamma school kids, every year we make sure that we celebrate the Vesak in a very meaningful way. So observing precepts is a very important thing. You know, precept, to observe precepts, basically the 5 precepts is the foundation of cultivating all our spiritual good qualities, right? As you all know. So normally on the Vesak celebration day, Children's Vesak Day, we used to observe 8 precepts, right? But today we will be observing 5 precepts. We thought to observe 5 precepts. So you all are familiar with the 5 precepts. You know the meaning. We take refuge in the triple gem, the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. And after that, we take 5 precepts. Okay. So, so as you can remember, you can repeat Namo Tassa 3 times, putting your hands together to your chest. Okay. And listening very carefully. And please say Namo Tassa 3 times loudly. Okay. So you all can repeat after me. Okay. So you all repeat after me to observe 5 precepts. Okay. First, we will take refuge. Okay. Repeat after me. Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Sanghang saranang gacchami.
Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi sanghang
Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
We are going to observe 5 precepts. As you can remember, the meaning of these 5 precepts are very important. First, to abstain from killing and harming, and we not to steal, and not to behave, and not to lie, and not to take harmful drugs and intoxicants. Okay? So, 5 precepts. Repeat after me. Anapipata Atiyami.
Panatipata Veramani Sikha Pranasmadhyami.
Adinadana.
Adindanvara Veramani Sikha Pranasmadhyami.
Padang Samadhyami. Okay. All right. Third precept. Kami Sumichachara Veramani Sikha Padang Samadhyami.
Kami Sumichachara Veramani Sikha Pranasmadhyami.
Fourth precept. Savada Veramani Sikha Padang Samadhyami.
Visada Veramani Sikha Pranasmadhyami.
Sura Mere Majjapama Dakhana Veramani Sikha Padang Samadhyami. Sura Mere. You can repeat after me word by word, okay? Sura Mere.
Sumaremya. Sumaremya.
Dakshana
Vajrana Sikha
Samadhiya. Right, very good. Okay. Sadhu, sadhu.
There's a noise coming from somewhere. Can we recognize that? Is it from Arcane? No. It would be great if silence is present throughout the entire session.
Yeah,
Yeah, who's that little one that's coughing? I have to mute all. If that is the case, then we will push. All right, so I have muted you all, and now.
All right, so I hope you all can hear me now. So we observed 5 precepts, followed by taking 3 refuge. So now, briefly, we need to talk about the importance of Vesak. Okay, so maybe Bhante Kusala can unmute. We can have a short dialogue, maybe, right? We can talk to them. Okay.
Yeah, except I just need to identify who this person is who's making noises, so I can unmute them and then leave the rest for. You all can hear that noise, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe now it's okay, I think. All right, so as we are here to celebrate Vesak, so we know the importance of Vesak. Who wants to answer that question? Why we celebrate Vesak? Do you remember? Huh? What is Vesak? Huh? Who can answer?
It's very difficult to hear you, Bhante. So if you can
Very
come closer to the device, maybe they can hear you better. If you have problems hearing Bhante or any of us, please send a message so we know.
Can you hear me well now?
Now it's perfect now.
Yeah, so who can answer that question? I asked, what is the importance of Vesak? Why we celebrate Vesak?
When the Buddha was born, enlightened, and passed away.
Ah, very good, very good. Huh?
Beautiful.
Thank you very much. So that is the answer. We all know we celebrate Vesak. We celebrate this birth. That was born. Yeah, in the Lumbini Park.
Okay, what's
Again, who's that?
That's the first thing to remember as we celebrate Vesak, the birth, right?
Maybe the person you put in the waiting room.
Once again?
Maybe someone who you put in the. It was maybe the person you put in the waiting place.
No, I removed them from the meeting.
Yeah. So yeah,
I think it's Arcane.
no, Akin is listening.
I unmuted Arcane, now the sound disappeared.
Oh, it came from somewhere, right? Because I see a ghost behind him. So
Because whoever making the noise comes to the screen and Arcane showed up several times. So
he's not making noise, but he's a skeleton behind him. I saw.
I think so. And the speaker, the mic was closer to his mouth. So he was
Okay, so we are good to go. All right. So the first thing, we know the related information around that incident, right? The Buddha's birth. We know Buddha's father and mother, King Suddhodana, Queen Mahamaya. So we have to remember these things now, briefly. So we have not been have the Dhamma school, so you may have forgotten these things. So Siddhartha's mother was Queen Mahamaya and father was King Suddhodana. So after he was born, he grew up in the palace as a prince, and he was a very kind, gentle student. He was very smart, and he studied all necessary subjects as a prince, and he grew up. And he got even married, right? And he left the palace, his family, in order to become a spiritual person, right? Ascetic, we call. And he left the palace, he left his wife, Queen Yasodhara, and left the son, Rahula, Prince Rahula, and everybody, right? And he became an ascetic. He became a monk. And he went to different teachers and learned so many spiritual things, especially meditation. And he cultivated his mind up to some extent, right? And we know that. So after that, he had a special training practice for 6 years. We call it the self-torturing or self-mortification. And after giving up that practice, he practiced himself what he appreciated, which was meditation. And at the age of 35, he became enlightened. He became a Buddha. Prince Siddhartha, the Gautama, attained the enlightenment and became a Buddha. So that was a very special incident in the human history, as we all know, right? He was the only person who was able to attain enlightenment in the first place in this world, in the human history. So attaining enlightenment, becoming a Buddha is so special. It's not easy. It is not an easy thing to achieve. It requires a lot of training, a lot of practice, a lot of sacrifice. Right? So we know that the Bodhisattva, before enlightenment, the Buddha was born in so many lives before, right? And we learn them in the Jataka stories. So he cultivated all these good qualities. We call them the paramitas, actions. Like generosity, morality, wisdom, patience, loving kindness, and all these good qualities up to the perfection level. So if only one cultivates them up to the perfection level, that person can attain enlightenment. So Buddha completed all these necessary qualities before this final birth. And therefore he was able to attain enlightenment. What it exactly means to attain enlightenment. So we need to briefly understand that too. Okay, in brief, we can simply understand to become a Buddha or to become enlightened means, in one way, to understand the ultimate truth about our life and the world. Okay, the ultimate truth about our life and the world. So these noble truths, ultimate truths, are called the Four Noble Truths. If you can remember, the noble truth of suffering, how people are suffering in their life, and the second noble truth, the cause of suffering, why people are suffering in their life, which is because of the craving, right? Our desire, our attachments, right? So that is the second noble truth he realized. He understood if we can completely let go or eradicate this craving, endless craving, we can be free from suffering. That is the third noble truth. And then he understood how to achieve it, right? That is what we call the Noble Eightfold Path, the fourth noble truth. Okay, the path leading to the cessation of suffering, we call. So, to attain Buddhahood means to realize these four noble truths for the very first time. That's why he became a Buddha. So he completely liberated himself from all sorts of suffering, right? And he attained enlightenment. As he became a Buddha, as he realized the Four Noble Truths, he understood almost everything connected to our life, the world, and the universe. So he had this perfect knowledge, therefore, without a teacher, without a guide. So this was so special when we learned about the Buddha and his enlightenment. Okay, and the other meaning of becoming enlightenment means to end all the suffering and no more suffering for that person. Emotional suffering, any fear, worries, anxieties, depression, no agitations, nothing for that person, because that person with the enlightenment has attained the perfect peace, tranquility in his mind, his or her mind, right? So therefore, no more suffering. So to enlighten, therefore, enlightenment means to end all the suffering. Okay, so that is briefly enough for us to understand about the Buddhahood. Okay, so nobody knew that before Buddha came, right? Before Buddha realized this ultimate reality, nobody knew these truths. So after attaining enlightenment at the age of 35, he was teaching what he realized, right? To find real happiness, peace, and happiness in life to many people, right? Many different people, from village to village, town to town, right? And we have learned that Buddha several times visited Sri Lanka as well, right? So like that, he was teaching what he realized, helped many people in enlightenment, right? Teaching the Dhamma. So Dhamma was what he was sharing, right? What he was teaching to others. So Dhamma simply means what Buddha taught us, his teachings. And also Dhamma means the reality, the truth also. Okay. And then he made many disciples, right? Many people were able to understand what he was teaching, and they also attain enlightenment, right? Many people try to follow his teachings to become peaceful people, happy people, spiritual people, right? So Buddha did that spiritual service to the world for 45 years. Now how old is he now? After 35 years, after he got
80.
enlightened, 80, right? He was 80. So that is his age, right? Buddha lived only 45 years after his enlightenment. So at the age of 80, he realized that he has no more time to live in this world, and he had to say goodbye to everybody, and he passed away. So he passed away on the Vesak full moon day. So he became enlightened on a Vesak full moon day, and also he passed away on a Vesak full moon day. So that was so special, right? Uh, so that is also celebrated on Vesak day, right? As we celebrate Vesak. So at this time, out of respect, we can kind of stop eating and doing other things, right? So we have to attend session. So special. This is how we pay respect to our Buddha, right? So this is so special, therefore. Okay. So now you know what we celebrate in the Vesak. We celebrate Buddha's birth, enlightenment, and passing away. Okay. As we celebrate Vesak, we make sure that we pay respect to our teacher, our master, right? Our spiritual guide, the Buddha. So we learn different ways to respect the Buddha, right? So one way is making lanterns during the Vesak time, doing chanting and doing other Vesak decorations, right? These activities we do to celebrate Vesak. Like in Sri Lanka, they used to have different processions even, and sometimes we have we call, some very creative structures depicting, illustrating the life stories of the Buddha. So those kind of things. So that is one way to respect the Buddha, pay our and gratitude. Right? With these okay, with these external activities, we respect the Buddha. And the other most important way of respecting the Buddha is to practice the Dhamma, right? To observe Sil, to observe precepts, just like what we are doing right now, right here. Okay, even though we are joining online, we communicate with each other. We understand. We all are trying to learn the Dhamma. We all are trying to practice some Dhamma, right? And understand what Buddha taught us. Okay. And when we observe precepts, when we try to become very good children, spiritual person, especially trying practice meditation, if we learn how to be kind to others, other human beings, our parents, our brothers and sisters, how to love even animals, how to love the nature. These qualities, when we cultivate them, that is a great way to respect the Buddha. You know how much the Buddha was connected with the nature? When you look at these three life events of the Buddha, who can recognize that? Hmm? So Buddha was born, the Prince Siddhartha was born in a park, in a public park, right? In the nature, under a tree. And where did he attain enlightenment?
Under a tree.
You know, who can answer that?
Under the Bodhi tree.
Oh, the tree, right? You all know that. In India, in Buddha Gaya, as he was sitting under a Bodhi tree meditating, he attained enlightenment, right? So there also, he had a deep connection in nature. He was not in a house or cave or any other place like where we live, but he was right in the woods, right? He was sitting under a tree. And the other incident, where did he pass away? Yes? Yeah, that is also in a park, right? Kushinagar. That is also a beautiful park. So we can see that Buddha was very much connected with the nature. He always loved the nature. He respected the nature. So this is a very unique quality of a spiritual person. They always appreciate the nature, trees, animals. We respect them because we all live in this world because of the nature, right? If we did not have purified air to breathe in, we all would die, right? If we did not have that fresh air. So even though we cannot see that, we have to understand how precious that nature is, right? So Buddha is teaching us that, uh, especially it's a very good message, here as we all are living in one place, one house, without moving around, playing outside, seeing friends, going to school. We all have to live in one place. One thing that came to my mind during this time, that we can see many people are killing so many animals in this world, right? uh, you should know that, people are not really respecting others, not only human beings, they kill thousands of animals sometimes, recently I saw a video, these uh, people were taking a baby cow out of this mother's womb as they were going to kill this big mother cow, you know So can you imagine how the nature can bear that kind of pain, right? That kind of unjust justice, right? Because human beings, they think that they have the power to control the nature. They are the leaders or they are the boss, right? That is not true. We are just a simple part of the world. We all are just a simple part of this nature, right? Nobody has given us the power to permission to kill and hurt anyone, right? And disturb the nature. That's not fair, right? So I think we all are facing this very dangerous reaction from the nature at this time, as we are facing today this deadly disease because of a negative reaction of the nature for what all human beings have been doing to the nature, these innocent animals. So Buddha's teachings clearly shows that, we can see these connections in the Buddha's teachings. If we are not respecting the nature is not going to take care of us, right? So it's a mutual action, right? It's a mutual thing. We have to take care of the nature if nature has to take care of us, right? So this is a very huge message, and as we are celebrating the Vesak, we have to we have to make a very good connection with the nature, very harmonious nature, attitude to nature. So that message I want to share with you. So therefore, we always want to cultivate that innocent mind, we have to let go of our anger, agitated mind, especially when we talk to others, we have to talk to them nicely, kindly, gently. Then they love us. How many of you have pets at home? Can you raise your hand if you have pets at home? Do you have pets at home? Okay, I see some hands up. If you do not have, that's okay. These pets also feel our love and compassion, right? If you talk to them harshly, roughly, would they come to you? No, they are not going to come to you, right? They don't even come closer to you. They go away from you. But if you talk to them nicely, gently, friendly, right, with sweet words, they easily feel that connection, right? They always want to come to you, they really love if you cuddle them, right? If you really love them, gently touch them, right? So this is what we can see. Even animals, even pets do like that, right? So can we understand that nature if we communicate with other people, our friends, our family members, especially with our parents at home? It's a very soothing environment. It's very important to have a very healthy uh, family. That connection is very important. Okay, so this is one of the greatest ways to respect the Buddha during the Vesak time and at all the times, right? Not only during the Vesak. We call it respecting the Buddha by practice. What do you call it? Respecting the Buddha by, what is it? By practice. Practicing what? Practicing what? Huh?
The Dhamma.
Yes, by practicing the Dhamma, right? These good things, to behave well, right? To do actions, to avoid bad actions, right? And to cultivate good things like love, kindness, compassion, and to practice meditation. When we do all these good things, good stuff, that is the way that Buddha really appreciated of venerating him, right? So that is so special during the Vesak time to understand. Okay, and uh, so at this time, so we can do our short chanting to respect the Buddha, right? As we are celebrating the Vesak today, briefly we have to do some chanting all together, joining me to respect the Buddha. Okay, you can bring your palms together. So this can be a kind of meditation for you. You know, when you do this short chanting, you have to think of the Buddha. Okay, you do not think about anything else. Maybe you can close your eyes gently and imagine a Buddha statue that you can remember. Okay, as you can remember the Buddha, think that you pay your respect to the Lord Buddha and showing your gratitude to him for showing us this valuable Dhamma, these great teachings, right? So with that understanding, let's chant the gathas together, no matter where you are. So be calm and peaceful and do not think about anything else and just focus on what you are chanting. Okay, so you can join me. So we will chant together. Okay. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Let's chant together, okay? Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma Iti Ya charana sugato loka vidu anuttaro purisdhamma sarati satthatis manussanam buddho bhagavati Swakhato bhagavata dhammo sanditthiko akaro ehi passiko opanayiko pacchatang veditabbo vinyo hiti supatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Ujupatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Nyayapatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Samichi patipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Yatidam chattari purusaya Purisa Pudala Yes Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Ahuneyo Dakhineyo Anjali Karaniyo Anuttarang Punyakirtan Lokasati I don't see anybody is doing this. I want all of you to join this, okay? And chant loudly. I cannot hear. Okay? Vandami Mina Kaine Vacha Achayam Kaine Achayam Kaine Vacha It seems like some of you didn't hear me, right? But some of you heard me, right? Did you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw some people chanting exactly together with me. Mm. I don't know, maybe some technical issues, but let's ignore that part, right? You know the chanting. So that's so good. Okay. So as an one other important thing on the Vesak Till Day, we have to do short meditation too, right? Maybe a few minutes. It will be very good for us, right? Uh, so let's do a short meditation. So this will be very simple. I will be guiding you through this small guided meditation. Okay, so you can everybody hear me now, right? Can you hear me well? Raise your hand if you can hear me. Okay, good, good, good. All right, so everybody, almost everybody can hear me. All right, so let's do a short meditation now. Okay, 2 minutes. Okay, now you have to be very genuine here. Okay, be honest. So because it's Vesak day, right? We are celebrating the Vesak, and we are trying to respect our Lord Buddha, right? So it's good for us to practice meditation, as we all understand usually. So let's take a few minutes, okay? So you can sit comfortably. So if you can sit without moving, that would be better, all right? So don't move around, don't look around. Try to sit very peaceful and relaxed, okay? So from this moment, I want you to close your eyes. I hope you can hear me well and understand your sitting posture, the way you are seated at this moment. Feel your entire body with the mind. Make sure you maintain the silence. Okay. And now with this still body, still posture, as you know that you are peacefully sitting, take a few deep breaths. Gently. Take a few deep in breaths and out breaths, and feel the breath in your body as you breathe in and out. Perhaps you can hear the sound of the breath as you breathe in and out deeply and mindfully, and see where you feel the breath in your body. And first of all, being very happy about this very moment that we are celebrating the Vesak, trying to make some spiritual connections with the Lord Buddha, his great teachings, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, of course, here. And we were very fortunate to be born as human beings because of a lot of good karmas that we have done in the past. We were born as human beings, and it is our responsibility to keep up with the great spiritual qualities. We are not going to be human beings just by birth, just by being born as human beings, unless we maintain, unless we cultivate the spiritual qualities, good spiritual qualities. Therefore, we all can be very happy about ourselves. We know we all are very good children. We all are very good people. We understand the value of the Buddha. We understand the value of this human life. And we always understand how to enjoy our life in a meaningful way without disturbing others. So with that understanding, we can bring some joy, some happy smile into our face and feel that joy in your body, in your mind, appreciating who you are. And feel your entire body at this moment, keeping your right palm on the left palm on your lap. Now feeling your entire body with the mind. Let's observe our incoming and outgoing breath for a couple of minutes to see if we are smart, if we are able to follow our breath without getting distracted, being very honest, being very genuine. When you breathe in, know that you are breathing in, letting go of all the thoughts. As you breathe in, you can repeat the word relax. When you breathe out, as you feel the outgoing breath, think of the word relax. So do this exercise mindfully, happily, and silently without thinking about anything else. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. So you can feel the connection with your body and mind. See how peaceful you are, how relaxed your body at this moment. See how much control you have over your mind and body at this moment. Feel the happy face, the smile in your face, being very pleasant to yourself. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, relaxing the entire body. Breathing out, relaxing the entire body and calming the mind. Sometimes you can notice that your mind is wandering in other thoughts, memories, or to the things that you hear at home around you. But make sure you gently bring your attention to the breath, your breathing experience, and observe it mindfully. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. And now with this peaceful mind, this tranquil mind, let's think about the loving kindness and compassion for a minute or so. Just you can cultivate and practice the loving kindness to yourself. As you feel your entire body with the mind, you can wish yourself, you can bless yourself, repeating these loving, compassionate thoughts in your mind. May I be well. May I be happy. May I be relaxed. May I be peaceful. May I be well. May I be happy. May I be relaxed. May I be peaceful. Feel the love in the center of your heart and feel the pleasant attitude. Feel the pleasant connection with yourself, with your body and mind. May I be well. May I be happy. May I be relaxed. May I be peaceful. And as we all feel the comfort of this loving kindness and compassion towards ourselves, let's, let's extend our loving kindness, this loving, compassionate thoughts towards all living beings in the world. As you know, today at this very moment, a lot of people are suffering in this world. They all need our love and compassion, our blessings. And let's share our love with all beings, all human beings in the world, all non-human beings, animals, even insects, all beings in the water, on the earth, in the air. May all beings receive my blessings, my love and compassion. And let's wish them. May all beings be well. May all beings be happy. May all beings be relaxed. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be well. May all beings be happy. May all beings be relaxed. May all beings be peaceful. You can see in your mind that all beings, all living beings in the world in happiness, they are rejoicing in their life. They are free from all the suffering, pain, hunger and diseases. When you think that way, your love, your loving kindness and compassion is reaching to them as a blessing, as an energy. So they can be very happy, peaceful and comfortable in their life. May all beings be free from anger, be free from fear, be free from illnesses. May all beings maintain their own happiness. Okay, now you can take a few deep breaths again. With a happy mind, peaceful mind, take a few deep breaths. Wishing that may I be able to carry out this peaceful mind, this tranquil and happy mind every day to face and overcome all the difficulties, problems, and other negativities in my everyday life, and to enjoy and appreciate every single moment to enjoy all the beautiful things in my life, to be able to appreciate our relationships with our parents, brothers and sisters, the relationship between our neighbors and others, all living beings in the world, the connection with the nature. May I be able to maintain and continue all these good attitudes and behavior in my entire life. With that thought, let's say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Say sadhu together. Okay, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. How do you all feel? How do you all feel? Huh?
The same way I felt before.
What do you mean?
I don't know. Neutral.
Okay, that's good, right? Even to feel neutral is good thing, right? Do you have anything to share? Anything to ask? I see Mevni and Sevni. You have something to say?
I feel relaxed.
Oh, that's so wonderful, right? You feel so relaxed. Yeah, and Aki feel the same thing? All right, excellent.
Yeah.
That's good. That's what we want, right? Anyone else want to share something? Say something? Share your experience? How do you feel at this moment? Huh? What do you want to say? So I'm so happy. So we did a wonderful job so far celebrating Vesak. We made some good connection with the Dhamma, good connections with the Lord Buddha, and we observed precepts, and we did some chanting, and you listened to the Dhamma, and we practiced the mindfulness meditation, the breathing meditation, and loving kindness meditation. See, we did a lot.
Dian!
All time, right? Okay. I think now from here, Bhante Kusala can take over.
Aku dah kalah depan.
Bhante Kusala, are you there? Hello?
Yeah,
Bhante Kusala, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay. I didn't see you.
Yeah, I have turned off my video.
Okay.
You were
So
the
now you can take
uh,
over. So, you know, we have to appreciate what Bhantes are doing at the temple, right? As you all know, I am in Sri Lanka. I'm living with my family, my mother and my sisters here. Like there's a curfew going on in the country. We cannot go out. We cannot travel. So I have been staying in one place in this house for 2 months now. I think you also do the same there, right? So during this critical time, our Bhantes at the Great Lakes Buddhist Vihara, they are doing a great job, right? They're trying to talk to you and keep you in good shape, right? And trying to share the Dhamma with you. Right? And they are doing everyday chanting and sharing Dhamma every day with other people, devotees. And they guide in meditation sessions and leading Dhamma discussions, right? So there we have to be very grateful to them, right? Even at this critical time, they have not stopped the activities, right? They are taking care of the temple and our community. So every temple in the world, as we know, the Buddhist temple are doing this spiritual services to the community. So that's a wonderful thing, right? So that way we can stay healthy, right? Stay positive. to face this crisis, right? So that is so important. Okay, now from here, Bhante Kusala will talk to you. Okay.
All right. So thank you very much, Bhante, for the wonderful meditation and the introduction. And we all know that it's a nice night time over there in Sri Lanka, and but everybody was looking forward to your participation, your joining, and I know you will continue to stay. And thank you so much. We are doing fine here in the temple. We have enough supply, and we do commit ourselves more towards spiritual practice and getting things done and moving things forward in our best capacity. So that's happening. And all right, so let me share the screen with you for a little video piece that I want to watch together. It's only 4 minutes, but it's something that was sent to me by our singing bowl master, Antonio. A beautiful message that I really enjoyed. And I shared it with some of my friends and they also loved it. So let me go. See if you can see this. You're keen for that? Any thoughts on that? What were the learnings? So stay through the meeting. I hear somebody left, and let me admit, stay through the entire meeting. In this video, I noticed that towards the end, in the very last end, they talked about having many realizations. After this one realization, so this period, the pandemic period in the world, is a time for us to realize something. And I like to know what in the video that they have realized. They mentioned a couple of things, and let me mention in the beginning. They said people talk without a meaning, right? You know, getting on texting, messaging, and through gaming you communicate sometimes. Yes, I've seen some people play meaningful games, but some go on to the extreme level of using bad language in gaming, and they record the YouTube video to make money. So money making has become a goal, but meaning has been lost. So that's one thing they mentioned. And feeling alone at homes when they are thinking that they are actually engaging with the world, but when in reality they feel lonely inside their heart. So I've seen a famous YouTuber recently. They dealt with a lot of anxiety and depression, and all they could think of, you know, despite having so much success in YouTube, all they could think of was to taking their own life, which I think if his loneliness and depression was treated carefully, and if he could put his life in a timeline and understand how precious this human life is, I don't think they would have ever done it. This is why in American society, value of life need to be taught and seen by kids. You know, in Buddha's teachings, he always tells us that we die one day. When we know that, our life becomes beautiful. Someone's very famous, like Steve Jobs, said, if you know, if every day, if you think that this is your last day, one day you will certainly be true. Because of course one day we will come to that end. And as a kid, I think if you really think about it, sometimes you would say it's depressing to think about death, but the Buddha is not telling us to really just think about it. He's asking us to practice. Practice it as a deep practice in such a way that it brings joy in you. When Buddhism is practiced in the right way, you will find that joy. In Buddhist teachings should not be taken as you like you catching the snake from a tail. If you catch the snake from a tail, the snake is going to turn back and attack you, and that the poison, the venom, might be very dangerous for your skin, for your body, for your blood. So Buddha's teachings should not be taken in that wrong way. And many kids, I hear, they begin questioning, and in those questions, they don't realize that they have caught the snake from the tail. So if you are catching the true teachings, you catch it from the head, and you begin making use of it like a medicine. You know, even the medicine can go wrong when you have overdosed it. So so be careful when you look at the Buddha's teachings and trying to match it, bring it forward in a way that it works in your life. The Buddha has given you sole responsibility in doing that work. And it said people have forgotten how to run. I think this is true. You know, we used to run in the nature. Now in homes, we have treadmills built or brought to home, and we run on them. We have forgotten the value of nature and fresh air. In a heated environment, we would be running. In pandemic period, I think that is recommended, but some people lived their entire life as if they were in a pandemic. And now they say they are missing the nature. So that's one thing they said. And it says people drank, smoked, and gambled. This is happening heavily in city areas, although you don't see it, and it has damaged many youth. If you read about models and actors, actresses, some of them have really dark stories, like getting into addictions and suffering from HIV, and not knowing the value of this precious human life, how you can use it to benefit yourself and to others. And now, because of the pandemic, people began singing, dancing, and baking. These are the things I think you might have done at home. And it said a valuable message in the end. You have to get sick before you get better. So the entire earth did get sick that way. And now we are beginning to feel better with the right dose of right medicine. Like we are taking life seriously and starting to feel the value, how precious this human life is. As many people are dying out there uncontrollably, and no country has found any medicine yet. And but again, it encourages us to dream bigger and dream harder for a better life. And it begins from you. It begins from small people like you. And in Buddha's teachings, he says, all the chaos and problems are rooted in fear. So, sometimes when you have so much fear and anxiety within, you think that it is somebody else's fault. But when in reality, it is you who is, the Buddha's teachings about going inward, looking into the problem inside. When you fix the problem inside, you don't see any problem outside. So anyway, what else did you catch in the video, and anything else that you want to highlight? It's time for you to talk. Sahan?
Well, I know that people completely forgot about the right thing to do,
Mm-hmm.
what they
Very
should
true.
have been doing, not hurting the environment,
Mm-hmm.
and they did the wrong thing. They chose the wrong path, and they hurt the environment, and they forgot about their families and how they connect with their families.
Beautiful. Thank you, Sahan. They forgot how to connect with their families. Absolutely wonderfully put. That's very nice that you mentioned that. It took like people were so busy all the time. If you hear, and people have forgotten the true value of some real models. Like real model is someone who is actually out there cleaning garbage. Not those who dance half naked and go into the front page of the magazines. Those are not the real models. You need to look real people in the working environment where they clean garbage and they clean the toilet, and that's the real model for me. And that's what the Buddha also appreciated. Not all those people who are exposing their body parts and then attracting crowds. If you wander in villages in Nepal or in Sri Lanka, you find real models, people working in plantations, picking tea leaves and collecting firewood and walking 5-7 miles, feeding their family and looking after family and making the world beautiful for their family. Those are the real models. So I saw Sanuti Kure's hand up, right?
Yeah. People just kind of like it said in the video that toddlers are using phones. That's not good. Like toddlers are looking stuff with their brain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you. So that's a great point. When you are too obsessed with and your neurons work when you have a cell phone in hand and you are looking at the world through a little screen, your brain begins to process accordingly, and we go back to our default, and our default is usually animal nature. If you compare your brain with an animal brain, you have lost the human part of it. And you need to always make sure that you are not going back to that animal nature. Sometimes if you scan your brain, all you have is the same chemicals like of an animal. And that's why uh, you know if although some people think that you're doing great things just by focusing on their cell phones and mobile devices, and when they look into the brain, they are not processing good emotions. They are not taking, unplugging themselves. They are not doing any spiritual practice. Bhante Sankichcha mentioned earlier that spiritual teachers like the Buddha was very, very close to the nature. Was sitting under trees and always going back to nature. Walking in trails and finding the blessings of nature. They perished into the nature. They were born in the nature. They always valued the nature. They valued all life. So, and this we cannot do from a cell phone in a consumeristic society. Thank you for that. Amish, these two kids joining from Amisha, Heidi, any thoughts? Not yet. All right, let me pass. Mitni and Seneli. Good to see your smiles.
Well, I was gonna say, like also, like the devices, like even at the dinner table when you're supposed to be talking about your day with your family, they were just on their phones and focusing on that, and they don't realize the importance of going outside in nature.
Beautiful. Thank you, Mitni and Senali, for that. It's a thing. I think it's a struggle that happens at homes all the time. And what happens is that we are so absorbed into something that we are seeing, we cannot just be patient a little bit to go back to it later. And what happens when we are busy in our brain, in our head, is that we may ignore our family. And how do we ignore? We say, we express our annoyance. Why is that? That's because we have an attachment to something. And what is that attachment? Is to engage in that thing with the device. And the Buddha always says, attachment is the problem. When we are attached to something, we forget the middle path. Buddha's biggest teaching, one of the core teachings of the Buddha's teachings is middle path. If you found the middle path as a Dhamma kid, you do know that it's the time to have a meal with the family and unpack the day and be mindful in that conversation. Sometimes you want to, if you are distracted with the cell phone, if you are definitely distracted with the cell phone, you cannot really unpack the day mindfully. Sometimes you may not begin to say it the right way. And later you are like, oh, I wish I also began my day, my talking about my day with this word, and this beautiful thing happened. But when you live 100 days like that, in the end, all the toxicity and chemical brain is harmful to your own progress, and your parents kind of will pick your brain in here and there, and they may not know what's going on because attachments and addictions are working. Let me see somebody. Sohan like to say something. Go ahead, Sohan.
I noticed in the video there was it said that people were throwing trash in the ocean.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So they were throwing trash in the ocean, and then the animals in the ocean were dying.
Thank you. That's beautiful. The ocean, the sea. Sea is a treasure we have. And as kids growing up here, I think you have learned to dispose trash well. But some people, even here, are not well trained in their mind. And when you do see someone not doing a great job in that, sometimes you feel like telling, but you don't want to confront anybody. But you saw in that video, there was a fish entangled with the plastic bag, and it died, and it got washed away to the shore, which is very painful, very bad. And its family, the sons, must be still waiting for its return. And when you can't breathe in the ocean, in the deep ocean, because this plastic bag is tucked into your nose, it's a painful death. Imagine yourself trapped in deep water like that, and all you can do is to struggle until you lose your breath. So these things have happened to animals. Millions and millions of animals suffer because of this. Jellyfish and lots of fish. And vitamin C is important to us. C is beautiful. It's not just the pills we take. The ocean, the blue ocean need to be humans should not possess the nature. Humans are just part of this nature and appreciate the presence of these beautiful creatures, and they are not harmful at all. They're just living their life beautifully. So I saw Ajit Christie family, and their hand, your hand went up. Hello, little girl. Right? Yeah, go ahead.
So in social studies, we were learning about plastic pollution, and we read this article, and it said more than 22 million pounds are found up in our Great Lakes each year.
22 million of what? Plastics?
Yeah, more.
More than 22 million plastics in Great Lakes.
Plastic.
Pounds of plastic. Wow. Can you name some companies that does that? Coca-Cola and Sprite, if they collected their own trash, it would be, piles of trash. So what you can do is stop buying these products. Stop getting, stop thinking that your life's values are based in their products. Don't even get into, believing their commercials, because when you begin believing it, you are actually believing in pollution. If they do care about, with the billions of money they make, if they do care of the nature, they wouldn't really allow people to pollute the nature. They would come up with organic ways of selling their products. It may be expensive, but it's the least they can do to care and protect the nature. And it's the least we can do. As a monk, I never drink these products. Never drink any Sprite or any even any. I try to avoid all kinds of the products like that, so that I feel that I am looking after the nature, and that's a great feeling to have. And you can definitely think that way and change your life. And you can talk about it with your friends, no matter what they say. You will stay with your discipline. Okay, Mebni and Sevni, go ahead.
In the video,
Yes.
the people were polluting the earth because they forgot how to walk and they were using cars all day.
Yes, right.
Trash.
Right. You may have seen in other videos that this janitor is cleaning some place, and all of a sudden somebody in a car throws trash into that man where he was cleaning, and a passerby, someone walking by that place, just quickly grabs the trash and throws back into the car to teach a lesson that you are not supposed to throw trash like that. If you have trash, bring it home and dispose it in a proper way. That's the lesson they taught. And people do drive in cars, and it said in the video that they are driving in circles, right? They're driving in circles. What they mean by that is that it's just their life has settled into a car. They think that's their life, but now all the luxury cars are parked in garages and in parking lots. And you see, when a pandemic broke in the world, these luxuries have no value. What's more valuable is fresh air, pollution-free air that you breathe. Okay, I see a comment here. Yeah, sodas, that's true. Sodas, lots of trash. Imagine if that much trash in Great Lakes area, within our area, imagine how much trash we have put into the ocean over, the entire world over the years that we have begun using plastics. All right, Savini Silva, your hand is up. Go ahead. Oh, I can't hear you. Let me unmute you. You need to unmute yourself, please. Okay, perfect. Go ahead.
So it's like the real thing is that no animal has a home. It's like when the trash gets in something like that sea creature, it lost its home. It
Yeah.
doesn't have any more home anymore. It died.
Yeah. And we need to sympathize with them. Sometimes when we are stuck in our mobile phones, we don't really see what's happening out there in the world, right? Well, of course, we did see it from a video, but in a gathering like this, sometimes, to think about it, that's part of our loving kindness, to care for the nature. Always understanding that these humans these humans have a life here, we have our homes, but these animals lost their home. And I think, I'm not sure if Bhante Sankichcha is still here. Yeah, he is. He would definitely talk about trash in the mind. I've heard him talking about mental immunity before. Mental immunity is to look after your own minds, and looking after your mind in such a way that you remove your own trash. Anger is trash. When you are angry, you are attached to something, you throw stones at somebody, and you think somebody is causing the problem, when in fact you yourself began to think in a certain way, you had the problem and you began reacting. When you not react, it shows that you have patience, and that all this problems stop, and somebody who is coming to confront you will be shocked that you didn't react. And
Yeah.
that alone is how you show you have practiced the Buddha's teachings.
Mm.
Sahan, were you going to say something?
No.
Let me see whose hands are up. So I do see Attanayake, your hand up. Yeah.
So the video actually proved that what we did was a cause and effect. Because people were putting trash into the ocean, the earth was polluted. Because we were using cars and planes, the area was polluted. But because coronavirus happened and governors were forced to keep people home, which then made another effect of polluting the environment. So what I'm saying is, think about the effects when you do something. Because if you do something as a react, people are expecting that to happen. So that's just gonna make you a better target in bullying and any other attacks. Like, you do everything you do creates an effect. It's just something that's gonna happen.
I think absolutely brilliant. I had some problems catching with some words because of a connection issue. But it's very true. Yeah. And I think what you just said also connects with this comment. If we still were like the Native Americans, Native Americans were very, they defended their nature. And they didn't always, they never had any airplanes. They never had cars like we do. They never had gas stations. They never came to a place like this in the world. In a consumeristic society, the video said you can order anything within one day. Like Amazon had a system that they deliver that product within the same day. Sometimes they deliver the product within 2 hours. You can get anything like that. It's like heaven, but you have to have money. In the end, look what we ended up coming to a place, coming to a place like this. And humans kill, yes, they say Sahan and Sahas say a beautiful thing, but they killed. They killed, of course, they did, but they didn't destroy. Their killing was for survival. They killed animals for survival, but they didn't destroy. Like if you look at, you do need to look at these videos sometimes where Bhante Sankichcha mentioned that cows deliver their babies, calves, and they are pulled straight into making sausages. And the calf really has lots of pain, and also the cow, the mama cow, in lots of pain, and she is milked using machines. And these machines, what, milk the cow, and then that milk is transported to our homes. We buy them, and imagine, what you are drinking is not healthy for you because of the emotional pain that the mama cow went through. It is, if whenever one day you come to that age, just imagine that you are a mom yourself, you are a dad yourself, and your kid is pulled away, and somebody brings a machine and milk you and then sell your product. They don't even have any control over it. And sometimes it's millions of cows lined up like that. And they don't even have any freedom to walk around. And that's the world we came to. And as kids, this is the world we need to change also. And if you don't do it, nobody will. Yeah, so that's a good thing. Yes, when Native Americans killed animals, they also prayed for them. Prayed because they had the understanding that these animals are part of our life. The Buddha said that all these animals may have been your mom or dad or brother or son in a different birth. You see, it's even hard to believe that, but sometimes how close you are with your cat, your dog. They become like inseparable with your life, and there you can understand that they did that indeed shows that the Buddha's teachings are true. That's how we get close to these animals. They are beautiful souls. They do. They want to cuddle with us, but instead, some people cuddle with grief, fear, anxiety. That's not what you need to cuddle with. You need to cuddle with true animals and begin feeling them. Cuddle with parents, and that's how you feel the true emotions. Right. Amisha says, yes, they only took what they needed. Right. Absolutely. They were not extremely greedy and killing thousands of animals for no reason. So they did take just the food from the nature. Yeah, never greedy. That's true. And Sahan and Sahas say they force them, they follow them out of fear. Yeah, they made sure that they did it in a ritualistic way, but that even was discouraged by the Buddha. He encouraged us to base in plant products, but in Native American culture, they went through winters, and in winters they didn't have much storage from grains, and maybe they resorted to hunting. But they also, they said they were grateful, and they were good people, and they recycled, and they didn't destroy the nature. That's why we have a place to live. If they lived like we do now, perhaps we have already, we may not even exist now. Until our new bad world arrives. That's right. We, don't look at the world as bad. There are good things in the world also. It's all your perspective. Good things are beautiful kids like you. We are also part of this world, and monks practicing, and that's beautiful. And your parents teaching you good norms, good values, and that's beautiful too. And composting, yes, don't forget composting. At homes, plant something, bring the seeds, as you're being safe, see something growing, enjoy flowers outside when they grow, and make your own product, live organically, and be creative with fertilizers you use, making sure you don't buy everything that market sells. Sometimes you can't trust these labels and product names. Always make sure you know what you are buying, and every penny that you spend, make sure it's spent for the benefit of the world. All right, so I think we are spending the last 15 minutes of our session. Without a break, we came little over 1 hour and 45 minutes. That's excellent. Any concluding thoughts before we close the session? Yeah, so Sanuti has her hand up. Hi, Sanuti. Say hello to Sanuti.
Hi. Well, we should recycle. If we do recycle, there won't be trash in the ocean, and there'll just be a little bit of trash, not very much.
Yeah. Yes, go ahead, Sanuti. Oh, and Sanuti, I think you need to unmute yourself.
What?
Unmute yourself. Yeah, perfect.
Which one? Wait, which one?
Now we can hear you.
Oh, me? Oh, okay. Well, actually, I wasn't here for the video, but there's actually been, it's just kind of about COVID in general. There's actually been some good things about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like in general, like the environment has gotten so much better because most factories are closed and stuff, and like most stores and everything, and it just made the air cleaner. And like apparently in China or something, there's been more animals that have come out instead of hiding because of all the dirt and stuff. I just wanted to say that.
Thank you, Sanuti. Beautiful. Yes, you saw, in Sri Lanka also, peacocks started coming out and roaming in cities, and here too, in New York City and in Europe and in China, wild animals began roaming around in cities because the busyness of the earth disappeared. Scary humans were no more, seen. And I saw a picture of this wild elephant going to a nature reserve, and they went to the front desk there, as if somebody took a picture of it. They peeked into the front desk, and in that picture it shows like the elephant went to that place, asking what happened to all the humans. And one thing Zanuti mentioned was cleaner air, because all the factories are closed. Cleaner air. The ozone layer had a big hole up, somewhere up in the atmosphere
near Antarctica.
Yeah, somewhere in Antarctica up there, and it's now closed, and that's a huge achievement. And it was getting bigger and bigger, and now it's a huge achievement, and that contributes to. You hear less news about Arctic layers melting now because the ice layers are protected. I went to visit a glacier in Canada. They said in 10 years the glacier will not be there, and that's because of the extreme pollution in the global warming issues. Be conscious about these these big things, not really little things. And all of us need to take part in letting animals in and looking after the nature, and also see what products we release to the nature. and clean, also having cleaner earth. Yeah, so I see some comments here. We should always keep our earth clean, and yeah, that's true. Even for cats and dogs, biscuits can be bad. Biscuits are bad even for humans.
Ow.
They have so much sugar, and cats and dogs, their fur begin to lose because of the sugar levels. Read about it. You will find you can give anything moderately, but in excess, anything is poisonous, even for pets like that. So, any last comment, thought? Yanuli, Vinudi, WDCHA, and any last thoughts, Bhante Sankichcha? I think it's night for him. Let me see what time it is in Sri Lanka. It's about, I think it's 9:20 at night.
It's 9:20.
Yeah, 9:20 in Sri Lanka.
20, yes.
Oh, Bhante is here. So we are going to, it's the last. Atanayaka, your hand is up. Go ahead. Unmute yourself, please. Come
So
closer to the device so we hear you better.
there was another contest that I saw of. You know how it showed a person on a little kid with the phone? Well, that can be bad for your eyes, and it can force you to wear glasses because you can't see well. And also, if you do too much shopping, you'll get into a lot of debt, which will be very bad because, well, let's say
You're
you went
talking
on.
about cleaner, yeah?
No, it was showing about like how people were shopping a lot and going on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
And it showed that, well, I also realized something about both of them. Too much shopping can be bad. Too much screen time can also be bad too. Because both can harm you.
I had troubles hearing you, so I'm sorry. Yeah, can you type that in the chat box? So that would help. Methuja, can you speak? We didn't hear from you. Hello, good to see you.
So in the video they also said that the skies were getting bigger and pollution is going up into the sky, and it's making like more clouds.
Yeah, so that's true. What they said was that not that the sky is getting bigger, it's just the sky is there. It's just a lot of polluted smoke pollute the sky, and especially airplanes. Now we don't see lots of airplanes in the sky, and that's really good. And I think to understand that. Pranati, could you be silent? Be silent. Yeah, thank you for that. So I see the chat box again. Yeah, there is a Yanuli shared a video, like to share, and it has been shared with everyone, and it's worth watching about animals. Bhante Sankichcha, over to you.
That's about the time, right?
Yeah, that's about the time. Thank you for joining with us. It's wonderful to see you.
My pleasure. I was very happy to see all the kids.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining from Sri Lanka.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for joining with us.
Thank you for.
How do you all feel today? You did something meaningful, right? You all did something good. And please say hello and happy Vesak to your parents for me. Okay?
Okay.
And don't forget, this is just the start of the Vesak week, right? celebrate during the Vesak week. You know, the full moon day is yet to come on the 7th. So please remember what we spoke today. You know, myself and Bhante Kusala, we were sharing some important stuff, right? To remember and remember about meditation. It's always good for you. Try to do it at least a few minutes a day. So especially during this week, right? As we are celebrate during this week, it's good for us. And take lanterns if you haven't made any yet. Take some time, get some help from your parents. See, I see a wonderful one lantern.
Structure of the lotus flower I'm going to make with my parents. You just have to cover in pink
Really
tissue
good.
paper.
I really enjoy making lanterns because it can really reduce your stress and anxiety. You know, especially during this time, it's really helpful to make yourself calm and peaceful. And also, it can promote your creativity, your patience, right? Your gentleness. These qualities are very important. So to cultivate yourself. Okay. So we are very happy about how you celebrate Vesak, and please continue to celebrate it with your family and do your studies, your homework maybe, and practice the Dhamma and stay safe and healthy always.
Thank
And
you
this
for
is
the Vesak lanterns. Thank you for dressing up for SEAL program. That's what we love to see. And look forward to another session. And Bhante Sankichcha will join also later again. And stay blessed. Continue meditating and being good kids.
all right. Thank you. All the blessings to you. Okay.
Bye.
Sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu.
Bye.
I'm Buddha Saranai. Buddha Saranai. Buddha Saranai. Can you hear me? I said Buddha Saranai. Thank you.